So this is what I was going to do before I had a change of heart. My father and I build custom cars. And I was going to cut down all the pine trees in the front yard and build a big log cabin shop. When I can build them in this garage just fine. But we wanted a paint booth, we wanted. But so even going further, I had a change of heart of not doing this just because of all the oils, gases, materials, and their toys. And the whole reason why we're in this trouble is because we spend a lot of time and money on toys. So I still help my dad as much as I can. Try to finish her up. But I could make a company out of this tomorrow, make money, and I built these two cars. My dad had this car done 50%, and then I came home and tore it apart, put a new subframe underneath it, and built those headers. And I don't know, I finished her up in a couple months, 3 months or so. And this one over here, there was nothing done to it. It was a box of parts on the floor. And I believe I finished it in 3 months. This is my buggy. I had gotten into a little bit of trouble with the law, and to come up with legal fees and such, I took the money that I had in the bank, and I went and bought a whole bunch of straight pipe, chop saw, and a pipe bender, and started to build a buggy. I know it's hard to see and the tires are off, but yeah, I built this from scratch. There was all straight pipes. The body was cardboard, and I just used fiberglass. It's got a panel for the other side, so it looks like that. And there's lights in the turn signals, lights down there. It's got 36 inches of travel. So yeah, this is what I was a builder. I love building stuff. Yeah. 5-point harness shifter, turning brakes. It's got all red neons back here. The motor's sitting sideways with a half shaft, and it's a Subaru WRX rear end underneath there. And I built the wing. You know, it's cardboard, brake lights, hazard lights. It's all street legal, differential. And so yeah, I could have started a company. I had another company before this one. I put advertising space on golf carts. It should have been a pretty nice company. It just didn't go too well. But I came back home, and was a superintendent at a golf course. So let me tell you what happened. Twice, actually, my father and I are going to head out and cut down some of these pine trees. And for 2 reasons. For the first reason was to see if the inside of the trees were rotting out. Because this tree just happened to be the one that was facing the garage, has a big hole showing in it. And it used to be a big oval, but it started to grow back in a little bit. This core is rotted out and dead on the inside of the tree. So we were going to cut down those 5 rows back there, take 60 trees, put a big structure right here, and then start a new company. Start pumping out some cars, making some money. But More money, more pollution, more problems. Sustaining life is survival, is food, warmth, clothes, and if I can do as much as I can, if I have the opportunities to grow my own food, the security of my family to even start something like that is super important. So, anyways, my father and I came out here, brand new chainsaw, bought the chainsaw to cut the trees down. Chainsaw started up fine, first couple of times chopping wood out in the front. Went to go chop the trees down the first time, chainsaw would not start. So, in this period, some other things happened to me, but we went out there again. I'm going to cut one of these trees down and see if it's dead on the inside or what. Went out there again, chainsaw wouldn't start. I use a chainsaw at work all the time. I'm good with a chainsaw. It would not start. So, during this time period, I had some things happen, watched some videos, and started to realize that the plants around us might have a conscious being, a life force, like they can talk and communicate. So, I'm a very kind, loving person towards animals, and if the trees can talk, then that just brings them to animal status to me. Like, I'm not even there, and the simple fact that they have to stand there and take our crap is, without appreciation, is not cool. So, how I know that they're alive is the beginning of April, we had an ice storm come through, and every single one of these trees covered up with ice. It was beautiful, just a thin coating of ice. So I walked around through the woods, and the other things that I learned was about love. I learned that love changed water. I actually saw it change water. So I knew that saying I love you changed stuff. So I started walking through the woods, saying I love you, saying I love you. And I did this all the time. So when I came back through after watching this video, I stepped back on the road right here. I had the same view you're looking at, and there's 3 distinct beaches, which are huge beaches right here. And I looked at the one beach, and I said, I love you. And it shook, and it dropped all the ice to the ground. And I backed up like, what? So then I went to the next tree, and I said, I love you. And it shook, and all the ice fell. And then I went to the Big Daddy right there, and I said, I love you. And that whole big tree shook, and all the ice fell down on the ground. And then I knew that these trees were alive. And if they're dying, then they're screaming at us. And I had a change of heart right then about not burning wood. I forced my parents to go to electric heat. I re-insulated their house. I caulked it. I did as much as I could. I started investing my time into building electric heaters. And I try to spend my time taking the dead branches off the trees since we're rotting them away. But after that big tree dropped all the ice, then I stood on the road, and I looked down the road, and I said, okay, I love you. And like a wave, down the road, the ice fell off the trees. It was amazing and sad. So since then, I've been trying to do as much as I can for nature, knowing that everything's alive around us, and we should treat it as such. Alright, be good.